So the news is flowing and the interest is growing with this cryptocurrency market right now. Although price hasn't really reacted much, I do think in the next coming months it probably will. I want to go through a lot of stuff today in the news that is telling us that we are very much early. Some little trigger warnings towards 2020, 2021. There's a lot of things we need to comprehend here. And also some of this news is actually baffling, hence the title thumbnail. But I am going to be doing more videos like this, certainly around the news. So if you like this stuff, let me know. Probably about 4 a week potentially once my life gets back to normal. So as I say, if you like my videos, please do leave a like and subscribe. A lot of you do not subscribe to the channel, so it'd be nice to have you. So first things first, I am on the top right of the screen now. I'm taking a leaf out of Ben Cohen's book, so I'm not blocking the screen. It kind of makes more sense. These are this week's key events. Feel free to pause it. We have got non-farm payroll at the end of the week, which could create some problems with volatility, but we will go on to more of that in a bit. However, first bit of news we need to come on to. Mr. Biden has vetoed, which is a bit... weren't expecting that. The potential of overturning all the guidance around the SEC, basically bypassing them, right? So this bill would essentially, in all obvious levels, is it would create its own new division, an old little thing that is for the growth and the, I don't know, what do I want to call it, the expansion of the crypto industry without involving the SEC. Letting them deal with the other stuff and let us deal with whatever, right? However, it has been vetoed. So that is a little bit of a step back. However, I'm not too worried about it because I think the current regime at the moment, I know there's an election coming up at the end of the year, is pro certain things. And there's a couple of noisy people in the regime that are a little bit against crypto, but there's quite a lot of pro ones. So it's not the end of the world. Sticking with the politics, we all know that recently Donald Trump has been convicted of 34 counts of hush money, bribe money, all kinds of stuff, right? Now, I want to be the first to admit, this sort of a little bit skeptical. It might be a bit of a diversion. However, Eric Trump has stated that they have raised over $200 million since this kind of news has dropped. If you know this, he has been accepting cryptocurrency donations. He is a lot more pro-crypto than he was. I think if he gets back into the White House, it's going to be very much berserk mode for the market. I think it's going to be very, very crazy. However, we need to take this information, in my opinion anyways, with a fine pinch of salt. If you Google the phrase in Google, $200 million, Donald Trump, the same sort of news was kind of regurgitated back in 2020. Yes, I know. So be mindful. However, there's a large chunk of followers that I think will literally run through brick walls for Donald Trump. And I think these guilty pleas, the guilty verdicts, will be very, very powerful. Weirdly, I know. I think it's going to get more and more interest. So, yeah, stay tuned on that one. So, continuing with, again, another political element. Fairshake, you've probably never heard of it, but now you're going to. Basically, lots of cash is flooding into it. It is an political action committee, right? Based around political agenda, and it's all about the growth and the promotion of Web3. Now, you can see here, it's called Fairshake Political Action Committee PAC, and already you can see here Coinbase and stuff like that, and you know, there's loads, absolutely loads of money getting thrown into this. 161 million to spend on the US elections. Ooh. I said this in my Learning Crypto video this morning. Feel free to check out the links below. That this might be the first ever election that we're going to have, certainly in America, that could actually have an element of cryptocurrency within it. I know. How far have we come? So, as you know, Robert Kennedy has been pro-crypto. Donald Trump, cryptocurrency donations. Current regime accepting ETFs and not too disheartened by certain things that they say, which is good. But this is obviously going to be interesting to see where this comes. Obviously, political platforms for pro-crypto positions. So, when you think about the dollar is dying and all this kind of stuff around it, trying to sort out the economy, maybe people might actually look at the news and go, well, actually, why don't we not look at this technology to maybe change things for the better? So, you know that I was talking about 2020, 2021 before to start this video? Yep, if you got this far, well done. GameStop has rallied massively overnight. I know. But basically, the linked trader here from 2021, the short squeeze back in Reddit, has made yet another big bet on GameStop. Probably going to see a lot of markets get spooked by this. You're probably going to see a few little shutoffs and that, but this was sort of the vibe that we had back in 2021 when the market started to go a bit crazy. There's going to be more news based off what I think here coming up in a second as well, which is a bit baffling in terms of why it all links together. When we talk about this, obviously, yes, it's flown up like, absolutely gazillion percent. But again, we talk about this. This is kind of where we're going. It feels like the whole Wall Street bets element is coming back, and it makes you wonder how the viral nature of these sort of things do work. And saw it recently with the boom in the channel as well, because obviously the markets went up. Interest goes up when candles go up. People are now talking about GameStop, obviously, but eventually when the mania returns in crypto, it's going to be pretty chaotic. We haven't had those days yet. This is why you're early, and this is why things are taking place now, which is very, very interesting, which I'm going to come on to now pretty much. So the first one, this is brand new news. Australia gets its first ETF. I know this is not the perfect one, but you got Hong Kong, Canada, US. You've also got England offering ETPs for basically for professionals, not retail. But we're getting there. We're getting there slowly, right? However, this is mental because we weren't really expecting this for a while with Australia, because Australia have been very much the worst at the moment in terms of trying to get adoption. It's like, oh, here's crypto. Oh, you can't invest in that, mate. My accent's horrible, I know. But you get the idea. The fundamentals are the news of the information is growing. And this brings me on to, obviously, yes, the Ethereum ETFs, which are probably going to go live in the next week or so. You've obviously got the continued Bitcoin ones. So when we talk about that, we talk about how early we are. We've only just had halving. We've only just had all kinds of other stuff. We have got the whole of the summer. We have also got most of winter into the election run. And I don't think this market's going to stop. And I keep saying this on X, like, guys, please stop talking about it ending, because I don't think it's even begun yet. And the final bit of news here that has just dropped, essentially, which is giving me 2020, 2021 vibes, is the FTXL Media Casualty Maple Finance launches institutional lending. Right, let me just back up a little bit. This is when people start getting greedy, and this is like the start of the cycle happening. Now, to kind of all intents and purposes, when we talk about cycle start, and I know it's all if, buts, maybes, old season, whatever, but when you start seeing more and more coin launches, when you start seeing institutional lending via crypto, there's a facility for that to have a requirement for people to do something, which means basically I can invest in crypto and do whatever I want. This is how everything went a bit wrong. So, as you can see here, an institutional lending platform in decentralized finance called Syrup, fair enough. New protocol providing institutional yield to DeFi. Now, this is the thing. This is where things start getting interesting, where things tend to grow, and then all of a sudden, something goes wrong, and it's like, yoink, pants are falling down. That's a problem. So that's what I mean. This is giving me 2020, 2021 vibes when the whole DeFi world took off. We might get that same niche bull market in DeFi where people are going to get greedy and they want to create yield on whatever the hell they want, and it will become too much, and all of a sudden it will pop and things go a bit bananas. So we're going to be somewhat careful. The fact of all of this is linked to, obviously, FTX and stuff. And this tweet is perfect. You're making it again. Who will be the institution to borrow this time instead of on media? That's the thing. Who is going to put the brunt of their money on the line here to make it happen? Defaulted on a $36 million loan back in the day, right? So this is interesting to know that they're coming back to do this. There's obviously a requirement for it, but we said this before. When there's greed, there's often money. So when we start seeing all these institutional investments and making yield on the likes of BlockFi, Celsius, Voyager and stuff, like, they all vanish because all of a sudden it got too much, they got too greedy, and then they couldn't fulfill the orders. And that makes me feel that this market is only just starting. It really does. So let's get into the technicals. If you want to see more of my technical analysis content, please do check out Patreon. Or if you want to learn about it and understand how the fuck all this works, loading crypto, right? You can see here it's green. Firstly, before we do the technicals, let's look at some of the fundamentals. Selling may go away. Often May is not the best month usually for crypto. It tends to be a bit iffy. Mostly the summer is a little bit up and downy for a lot of the markets. Tend to be, when we look at like May, June, July, it tends to be very, very sporadic. You can't really get a clear gauge unless you're in a rampant bull market. Now, when we look back, the last time we had this rampant kind of run of a lot of green in the summer was technically, you could probably argue, 2017. It often falls off a cliff very, very severely. Obviously, 2017 was a bit of a freak, realistically. So it'll be interesting to see where we go here. We've had a lot more green in Bitcoin than we have red. It has been one of the best assets around by far. And again, if you look even at quarterly returns on Ethereum, it's not looking too bad. Let's be honest here. When we go on to the, as I say, the world of the technicals, is it going to just go up? I'm just going to put that quite. Feel free in the comments to let me know what you think. Is it just going to go up? Is this just the correction and this is just the impulse going up? I still think, you're probably bored of me saying it now, 83k is where retail FOMO comes in. We've broken this previous level. This is when people start to return. The retail FOMO of new money coming in could well be there. And if we look at this, boom, are we going to carry on? I know a lot of people are talking about triple tops and stuff like that, which is absolutely fair enough. All right, I understand the point. But when I look at this market, I'm thinking, you know what? It could really just shoot. If this shoots and breaks above this point, everyone's going to talk about it. Everyone. If we start getting towards 80k, everyone's going to talk about it. The exact same could be said for Ethereum. With Ethereum, it looks very much similar. Yeah, but this is an all-time high. All-time high is up here. This is kind of where we're at. We're at a massive, massive shakeout. Down to the 618. Are we just going to continue going high? Are we going to go and retest at this extension level at the all-time highs? Oh, it looks possible. What if we go to 5,000? If we start breaking above this kind of previous all-time high of 2021 on Ethereum, people are going to get interested. The ETF, alt season, interest around the market. Then, actually, I'm not even going to say what I'm going to say. I'm going to do a video on it in terms of the stupid stuff that people will buy related to this, which is a bit of a hint. It's kind of very much near that on the watch list, but I'm not going to go into detail on that. But let's look at other things that are very, very important here. Why is the S&P very important? You're probably wondering. Well, this is in an absolute giga run. This is currently melting up. If this continues for the end of the year, you could probably bet your bottom dollar that the crypto market's going to probably follow it. You could probably argue the same for gold and silver. That's doing very, very well too. And this is the thing. We've had a pullback. The cryptocurrency market also had the same pullback. We're starting to get that kind of formation where we're going to continue potentially going higher. We have to look at this with absolute, it's a trend. It's going up. It's pretty much north. It may get a little bit tricky towards the end of the week due to the fact of the non-farm payroll, but when you look at that, why would you bet against the stock market not going up with all the election noise and a healthy market and all that kind of stuff? Because it is technically weirdly healthy. Then you got viral kind of sensations of GameStop doing its thing. People are going to look at the stock market and go, you know what, I can make money here. Look at this. We all know that a high stock market increases and encourages people to come into the market. Same could be said with Bitcoin. It always does happen. It's just one of those things, right? And again, when we look and we zoom in on the NASDAQ on the daily, look at this candle, absolute clanger, but it held its level of support. This could keep going. This is at all-time high levels. This could absolutely fly. So please take note of it, because sometimes you need to see where the liquidity is going. It might well flow into crypto very, very soon. Why do I say that? Well, the dollar is dying. The DXY, this is struggling. This has had an impulse up, but we are in an obvious downtrend here. It's like an ABC correction. It's kind of consolidating, but in terms of this impulse, we've rejected here. We could go down into the 103s very, very soon. Have to be very much mindful. When this goes down, right, and I know you all know this, I hope you do, look at the data in terms of how things pump. When this goes down, the crypto market and other markets tend to go up with it, right? It does the opposite, yin and yang. Very, very different. The problem you got is this is looking very much toppy, as in like, I feel that this has just got weaker and weaker. It could well just drop another leg, and that could create a bit of hype and hopium. with Bitcoin being at 69,000, with obviously Ethereum looking to break as well, if we get that one big shoot, it's probably going to get a lot of people interested. And there we go. I think we're done. I want to finish up pretty much on the fact of this total 2 market cap chart here. We are still here. We could go much higher. This is excluding Bitcoin. If the Ethereum ETFs go live and the interest comes because of an all-time high break potentially coming. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to happen straight away, by the way, not financial advice. Long term, probably. But short term, might get a lot of sell-offs with the 11 billion that Grayscale have in Ethereum, right? They'll probably sell it. But overall, it's early, right? Kind of where we're at right now. So there we go, we're done. Hope I haven't confused you or lost you. But yeah, it feels very much like that early kind of bubbling pop part of the market, essentially, where things are starting to take note. Institutional investments coming back, the pro-crypto election malarkey, all those kind of things around the ETF positivity, and the news is really bullish anyways. Interest is coming. When the liquidity comes, could get interesting. Anyways, enjoy. Video for you to watch coming up.